Welcome to Tab Briefs, a weekly look at headlines from the world of faith for Friday, February 19th, 2021. I'm Tab Media Content Editor Carrie McWhorter, and here are some of the headlines that grabbed our attention this week. First up, Texas churches and ministry organizations are serving as warming shelters after a winter storm caused a spike in the state's power grid that shut off power to millions in the state earlier this week. The winter storm began Sunday and spread across Texas, Oklahoma, and other parts of the Midwest and even into the Southeast. The storm dropped inches of snow and ice and brought days of frigid temperatures. The widespread power outages and rolling blackouts left residents without heat, and water systems froze, leaving many without water, in addition to having tremendous damage that they couldn't do anything about immediately. News reports attribute almost 50 deaths so far to the storm, and officials expect that number to rise. Several deaths have resulted from carbon monoxide poisoning due to efforts to stay warm. Several people have literally frozen to death, and a 10-year-old boy in Tennessee died after falling through ice on a frozen pond. His 6-year-old sister is in critical condition. Churches are serving as warming shelters and providing snacks, blankets, coats, and other supplies to local residents frozen out of their homes. Fortunately, power was restored to much of the state yesterday, and warmer temperatures are expected this weekend. Next up, France's National Assembly on February 16th approved a law intended to fight Islamist extremism in the country, but many French Protestants are concerned about the proposed bill. Since 2015, France has seen a surge of extremist violence. More than 250 people have been murdered in terrorist attacks throughout the country. In October 2020, a French middle school teacher was beheaded by the father of one of his students after showing a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad that was at the heart of a 2015 attack on the French newspaper Charlie Hebdo. Although the bill is not targeted at French Protestants, many of them have been critical of the bill. Clement Diedrichs, who is general director of the National Council of Evangelicals in France, told Christianity Today that the law will allow restrictions on religious expression. The bill would create a requirement that churches re-register with the government every 5 years, which increases the possibility that a church's registration might be denied. The bill also would significantly expand the government's powers to close religious organizations and places of worship if they are found to air what some have called theories or ideas that provoke hate or violence. And for evangelical families, permission to pursue home-based education would be required every year, and parents would not be permitted to choose to homeschool because of religious motivation. The Southern Baptist Convention's Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission has caused the proposed law in France a clear example of government overreach. And finally, more than 125 people put their trust in Christ during a recent 3-day mountain retreat in the Caucasus region of Europe. The region has been severely affected by both the COVID-19 pandemic and a regional war that has left thousands displaced and saw 5,000 people killed, most of whom were 18 to 20-year-olds. In addition, the region has experienced a long, hard winter. American missionaries to the region are actually grounded in the United States, but local churches have taken up the mantle of leadership, and they actually worked together to host the retreat, which was the culmination of weeks of serving the community. Church members have hosted displaced people in their homes, and they have given out food, clothes, and medicine. Maybe more importantly, they have provided a listening, prayerful ear. You can read more about this retreat and other missionary efforts throughout the world and the United States in Tab News, a digital regional Baptist publication. You can find the Tab News app in your preferred app store, or I'll put a link in today's show notes. Those are your Tab Briefs for Friday, February 19th, 2021. And a final note before we go. Next week will mark the end of Tab Briefs. We have appreciated you joining us each week over the past year to check out headlines from the week in faith-based news. But we hope you will check out Stories, the new podcast from Tab Media. Stories actually debuts today, and in the first episode of Season 1, you'll meet Sammy Gilbreth, longtime evangelism director for Alabama Baptists. Stories host Grace Thornton will take you through the twists and turns of Sammy's life, including several near-death experiences and the unbelievable things God has done in and around him over the years. You'll want to check it out, absolutely. And you can find Stories in the Tab Media channel and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'll also add a direct link in today's show notes. We appreciate you joining us today for Tab Briefs, and we hope you have a great Friday.